being held accountable for providing somebody lunch. Unfortunately, they don't eat that lunch. Now, you've provided them the lunch, you've had a company provide it for them, you've sent it to them, you've given it to them, but yet they still don't eat it. Have you failed? What comes first, the chicken or the egg when we're talking about accountability or responsibility? Hey everyone, Dr. Jones again with another one of your weekly video messages. And this week, I want to talk about that piece, that accountability and responsibility, because accountability is A in the second letter of my word care that this video series is being built on: communication, accountability, responsibility, and environment, and how they all work together to show the world, tell the world, and achieve for ourselves our greater vision, values, and goals. Accountability. I need you to think about it in the following way. Accountability is big picture. It encompasses some of the things we don't have control over, and that's tricky because we say if you don't have control over something, you have to release it, you have to let it go. Because otherwise, you'll create all kinds of negative emotions trying to change something that ultimately you can't change. Oh, if life were only that black and white. Responsibility is small. And so those are the things that we can control. So accountability, in other words, is just the larger picture, the bigger picture of things that we wish to get done that we don't have control over. So how do we do that? How do we exert some control over that? We do that by taking the larger piece of accountability, breaking it into smaller steps, and making each one of those steps our responsibility to make sure that that piece happens. Let's take that lunch example that I mentioned, right? We're accountable to make sure somebody eats lunch. So we become responsible for making sure that lunch gets made. We become responsible for making sure that lunch gets delivered. We become responsible for making sure that person eats that lunch. There are multiple ways to do that, but what we have to do is ensure that we have a hand in every step along the way, or that we have people or systems set up and in place that those things happen. And then we can truly accept accountability, because if we don't do that, what we're going to end up doing is experience a lot of stress, a lot of frustration, and I almost said it for the second word, a lot of failure. It's accountability and responsibility. They're close, but they're so different. We're all smaller pieces of a bigger part if you look at it and break it down. And at some level, we have a little bit of both accountability and responsibility. So remember, accountability is big picture. If you have something large and you're feeling frustrated because certain things you don't have control over, change your perspective, readjust your approach, and think about how you can become responsible for the completion of the pieces that you don't have control over by working with somebody or something that has the ability to control that. Hey, look, thanks for taking the time to listen. Remember, we're all pieces of that bigger picture. We're accountable for certain things, but we're responsible for larger things. Make sure you take the time, if you found any value in this, to share it along. I'd appreciate it if you do that. Remember, as always, be purposeful, act with integrity, and continue to build your character. You have a great day.